great round of applause for her.
Okay, so I really want to thank Maria.
You just have to get a little closer.
I'm getting closer. I want to thank Maria. I think this is really a great idea to do from time to time. And I'm glad she chose me. But almost all of these pictures have been hanging for a while because coincidentally, there was the Sense of Place exhibit, which there were two pictures in, the Baltimore and the Philadelphia, which I'll show you if you don't know. And then Barbara Carlson asked me to do the little gallery. And so we had a bunch of pictures in there. I really had a lot showing all at one time. So this is a sampling plus a couple more because I wanted to tell you how artists work certain things. I think talking to you, I decided I should talk about how to look at a painting. So I'll give it a try. Most people look at a painting and they react to it. And I think, it's sort of an emotional reaction. Sometimes people look at a painting and something in it is so familiar that they have to have it. One lady that bought a painting from me insisted she had to have it, but she offered me half of what the price was. And I had to tell her how much it cost me, not only for the materials, but this thing was triple matted, framed, it cost me a lot to do it. So she finally came down and she took the painting, she thought about it overnight, and I thought, why in the world did she want that painting so badly? And a couple months later, it hit me, because I was taking a pastel course, and the teacher told us to go out and find a place that we wanted to do. And this was in Baltimore, and I drove around and around, and I couldn't find anything. And finally, I pulled into this church parking lot, and it had a great iron gate and some other things I thought were pretty good to do a picture of. So I took a lot of pictures, and I sat out there a lot, and I got this painting together that she wanted to buy. And you know what was included? Where do you put this? The cemetery. And I figured she must have known somebody that was buried there. Because why else would anybody buy that? And why would she be so insistent that she had to have it? So there are all kinds of reasons that people buy things. I might be wrong, but I think that's a pretty good reason to find a painting like that and say, oh my gosh, Aunt Mary's right there, and buy it. So anyway, most things I think are kind of visceral. You want to feel a connection to it. So there are very formal ways of judging paintings. If you have a whole bunch that aren't like these, and you want to know which one you think is better or worse, some people just say, well, I like it or I don't like it. But that's the end of it. But there are ways to judge paintings. And I think the first one is, did the artist fulfill their intent? What was the artist thinking of when they did it? And then you say whether you think they did or not. Sometimes you see something that's really beautiful and you say to the artist, why did you do it? And they say, well, I saw it and it was really beautiful. So you say, well, I think it's beautiful too. So we agree, and I'm tranced by the painting and I don't want it or I don't want to pay for it. But they have the same thing. But if you ask an artist what their intent was, you might find out an awful lot more than just what's in front of you. So, where are we going? A lot of old paintings have pictures of war. They're really brutal, they're really intense. That's easy. There are a lot of I sound so loud to me. That's the other thing. Number one, I was thanking Maria. Number two, I wanted to tell you, since I've been in this room, I haven't hurt anybody. I adjusted my hearing aids, and if you ask me a question later on, I'll try to hear you, or maybe my daughter will tell me what you said, because she hears what you say, and she can really speak loudly. And the other one. There was another reason I was going to tell you, but it's not coming up right now. So, I think these pictures that we have here in the solarium, or in the, whatever, that's the other thing. I am beginning to forget names of everything, including people. So if you see me sitting here struggling and you know what word I'm going for, would you please just yell it out? I really appreciate it. Okay, that's what I wanted to say in the beginning. So I think if you look at, let's say, these two prints over here, as an artist, I'm not particularly impressed. How many people think, oh, I wish that I could take that home? Either one of them. Anybody want it? Kathleen, you want that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I want that one more.
Yes, this one. But these two are simply done to decorate a place. There's no meaning to either one of them. I doubt an artist could tell you why they did it. Somebody ordered 100 prints to put in the lobby or the hallways. So they just do whatever they think will be attractive, whatever matches the furniture, whatever will keep people feeling calm. But I don't know that that's real art. I would like to see an artist and a person that owns it connect with each other. All right, so one of the things that people are looking for is a connection to what there is. Then there are things like, if you know a little bit more, finding out the history of the painting. Like I said, if it was an old war painting, or if there was a flower show, and you wanted to match a lot of colors that were in things, and the artist went around and took pictures of certain flowers because of coloring. And then they have to take all these pictures home and rearrange them and figure out what will make a good composition with them. They might take other pictures that they took before and mix them with the flowers. Oh, I'll do somebody's white picket fence and have these growing in front of it. And that'll be a comfortable homestead that people might like. So there are artists put a lot into a good painting. There's a lot of thought behind it. So there's the first level where, yeah, it looks nice. I relate to that somehow. There might be a story behind it. Let's see. This doesn't really have a story. I used to make things up in my head, but I became entranced with bromeliads. We lived in Florida. I never was familiar with bromeliads. And I saw it in, I don't know, maybe Home Depot or something. I thought, wow, look at that thing. I never saw anything like that before. So I gave it to my daughter for her birthday. And she said, Mom, I have a black thumb. Don't give me a plant. So a couple months later, I gave it to one of my neighbors across the street. And because we were going away, I guess maybe we were going to Florida, came back a couple months later, and I said to my neighbor, well, how did the bromeliad do? She said, well, it's still alive. She brought it out, it was gorgeous. I mean, really. I said, where did you put it? She said, in the basement. So she really was a great gardener. And I don't know what she did and how, but maybe that plant just knew she loved it anyway, even if she had to keep it down there for a while. But bromeliads really got me. And so this obviously is not a real color. So even though I did start with a real flower, I put the colors in, I hope I made them interesting, and I made the flower drip. But either it was crying, or maybe it was watering the things below it, but that there was a connection to other nature. That the water would connect this plant to. In Florida, they once had a bromeliad show, and I never saw so many different ones. It was spectacular. But there are lots of times I look at something and then I take a whole lot of pictures like it, and I might use up to 10 photographs to arrange into a painting. So that was one that just turned up by itself. I guess I liked it enough. Over there.
Marge?
Yeah. What's up, Evelyn?
I want to ask a question about the painting you were just talking about. You pointed out that it does not have realistic color.
Right.
So can you talk about what your intent was, echoing your words, or choosing those colors, that palette?
I cannot remember.
Can you make something up that's...
I spent a long time doing it, so I must have had a reason at the time. But that's the honest answer right now. I assume it was all green. So, thanks a lot. All right, now the one all the way over here with Maria, she asked me to put it in because that was a pastel, and I didn't have any other pastels. Not down here. So anyway, somebody told me that they could see through the glass, and they made a couple comments about it. So that was somebody living here, and she didn't do that because she just thought it was pretty. She saw there was more depth to it. There was something really attached to her. That one was just because I hadn't done anything for a while, or I always used to have a picture of what I was going to do next. But this day I didn't have any picture of what I was going to do next, and so I took these 3 things out and I arranged them. I said, I'll do a still life. So I did it, and all 3 of them were gifts that were given to me. So that was the attachment I had. Then I did it and I went, oh, it's too icky-picky. It's like, it's so formal it could be a photograph. That's one thing. I don't think you should make the paintings look like photographs. There ought to be something special about them. Something the artist puts in instead of just something that they're gonna kill me back there. I said something bad about photographs. But photographs can be manipulated, and they can be more special than what anybody could take. So that one, I got finished with it, and I said, I just don't like this thing. There's got to be something else I can do.
But I like it, which is why it's in the show.
I know. That's because I took this figure.
Right.
I might have put it with a chamois, and I started smearing around on it so that it didn't look so perfect until I liked the effect that I got. And I knew I could put it back the way it was if I didn't like the effect that I got. So that's another thing. I work things and work things. I know I can overpaint things. I know I can change pastels. And Barry didn't get here. Huh?
Oh, Barry's right here.
So Barry Lindley had his course in watercolor, and I said, that's the guy. He'll get me to feel better about watercolor, because I'd always tried, and I thought I made a mess every single time. I didn't know what the heck to do with that paint. So Barry had a really good class, and he taught me so much about how watercolor works. And if you don't know how a paint or a medium works, you shouldn't be putting in shows, and you probably shouldn't be selling it. I think you should be a master of what you do. So by the time I got finished with Barry, I had an idea about how much more work I had to do. And I'm doing it, but I don't feel I have a real handle on it. But that was terrific because I'm starting something brand new at this old age. Anyway, that's pastel, and I worked in that a lot until one time when I was working with it and I actually got bronchitis. I was breathing so much of that stuff that I got sick from it. So from then on, I would either wear a mask or I did something to protect myself when doing that because I love the medium. Now, this next set, you would have to know three. Let's see, yeah, one's on the left, two's on the other. They're in the right order. So I'm sitting in the doctor's office. Now, what kind of doctor do you think which kind of doctor's office do you think I'm in the first painting on the left?
What did you say?
Psychiatrist.
What did you like to say? A psychiatrist. No, that would have different colors. Okay, so the first one, I'm sitting in his chair, and I'm waiting, and he doesn't come in. So I start taking photographs. And I bet you I could paint this one. Why would I want to paint it? All right, so there are actual things in that first painting. Does anybody see anything that would tell you what kind of doctor he is? Who said that? Oh, Dee Dee guessed. Yeah, it's an ophthalmologist. What did you recognize, Dee Dee?
Glasses.
Yeah, I do have a pair of glasses there. And I have charts. Let me see.
I'm sorry.
What else am I doing? Oh,
You don't know what it looks like?
yeah, this is the one where there's a mirror thing in there. So I have to look in the mirror and get the reflection kind of thing. These are other eye charts that he used. And this was a door out into the hallway. So I painted it pretty much the way it was. There's a door out there. There's a hanging thing here. Maybe that was a red light, and so I stuck a chain on it. I was just playing around with the different shapes and what I could do with it. And I got home and I finished that one. I said, well, there are too many things you can recognize in here. I'm going to try to get more abstract. So I did the next two as abstractions. And even as far away from they are as what the real thing looked like, Jane said to me, I see a key. Or did you mean a keyhole? She's still looking at this stuff. This is still the doctor's charts and things. And then she figured this was a keyhole. This part on the left would be a keyhole. And you were looking through it. I said, no, it's a doorway, and that's what you see through the doorway. So you look at a painting and you say, what the heck is in there that I'm not getting? And if you looked at the first one long enough, you'd realize it was an ophthalmologist's office. And this one, that maybe you're looking through a doorway and what's seen through the doorway. And then I went really nuts. I said, okay, I'll really be abstract. I don't know if anybody would care where I started. If they liked this painting, they wouldn't care that I started with an ophthalmologist's office. I just wanted to do something very different than what I usually do. So waiting for him for as long as he took to get in there. He's one of my favorite doctors. He was really slow that day, and I'm very grateful for these three paintings. Anybody have any question about that?
They look like
fun mirrors, you know, in a fun house.
And they look like fun mirrors in a fun house.
Yeah, they do. So if you thought that's what you see, then might remind you of a day in, I don't know, high school, when a gang of you went out and went in a house of mirrors.
Do you want to talk about the COVID? The other thing?
Okay, see, and usually I do things pretty realistically. And my daughter always says, stop. You're getting too picky. It's getting too real. Don't do that. But I guess I do that with things that are not going to be part of something else. Which one? Oh, these three. The first one was on the right. The second one is the boxes. All right, Maria's going to show it around. These are time sequence. Yeah, that's the first one. See anything?
Oh, there's something in it? Okay, I'm not looking at it, they're looking at it.
All right, thank you. This is the beginning of COVID. Everything seems all right, all the colors are beautiful. There's sort of a neighborhood with a pathway through it. And people were supposed to keep their distance from each other. So each one of these little slashes is a person. And maybe three are together, but they don't go near the two over there. And they don't go near that one over there. I'm sure Bob and I got COVID from one person, so we shouldn't have been so close to him. I figured that's the way things started, and everything was still pretty, what's the word? It was okay. Give me a word. All right, upbeat. We didn't know what we were really hit with. Now, the second one is the squares,
Oh, is this where?
or the rectangles.
I don't know.
This is the one where they told us not to leave our houses. Don't go out anywhere. Just stay where you protect yourself by keeping away from everybody else. So what is it?
Sorry. That's okay.
Yeah. The circles are the people in their different kinds of houses. So all the houses are different because everybody's got something different. The streets are different. It's a community, it's a neighborhood. But everybody's staying inside their walls. And the last one was when even when we knew what was going on, and we knew what COVID was, and we could see the cell that was attacking everybody.
Where's Phil Taylor?
This is how it affected a lot of people. Carol, you want to come up here?
Me?
Yeah. Anybody want to? Carol needs to sit up closer.
No, it's back,
You okay? Oh, yeah, this
I
side.
know,
Okay.
the curtains are decorative, I think.
We tried to move them, but they're not moving.
Okay.
We'll do this in the darkness.
Now, if you look at this one, you'll see what was going on. And the date on the back is June 2020. That's the name of this painting. So can you tell what was going on?
We're getting closer together. Oh, there's the COVID.
This one
COVID
freaks me out a
down.
little bit.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here we are. In that painting, everybody at the top is wearing a mask. Everybody at the bottom is not wearing a mask. The COVID, what do you call it? Like, what are those little cells? The virus, okay. Virus cell is all over the place. Who are the people at the bottom? Where is it? Oh, yes.
Waving.
There's someone over here that should be familiar. And what I did with this one is I put a little collage into it. All the faces, almost all of them, I should say, are cut out from a magazine or something. I pasted them on, I painted them if I wanted them to look different somehow. And you'll see our second term president in there. And all these, in two places I cut out people in a crowd. Everybody who listened to him and said, oh, this is okay. So they're out without any protection. And at the top, the people are, there are two nurses there, people are in the hospital, the one man has a breathing machine on. And that, anyway, those are the people that got treated and they were being careful about what they were doing, and I didn't do anything after that. But that's what I did other work during COVID. If anybody was at my birthday party 2 years ago, I gave out these little designs, and that's what I did almost all the time during COVID, except for these 3 paintings. So that's what I was thinking at the time. Now, the sense of place exhibit, these 2 paintings that I put in sense of place, one being Baltimore and one being Philadelphia, had nothing to do with each other. Now that time,